What do you say we examine some fast fixes for social media and make sure you're optimizing the time and energy that you're spending right now on social media? I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business. It's a division of Voice for Fitness. And at Voice for Fitness, we know you want to be an inspirational example to midlife women. In order to do that, you need a profitable health and fitness coaching business. And the problem usually is a lack of clients, maybe a lack of money because you're charging too little, which makes you feel uncertain about whether you can really succeed at making this a business. We believe you deserve consistent, dependable revenue from clients that you love. And I completely understand how this feels because I've been where you've been, feeling like I know I can help, but not really getting that off the ground, which is why I now train fitness pros internationally. And here's how I do it. Number one, we focus on getting you more clients right away. Number two, making sure that you're getting more profits from those clients. And three, we make sure along the way we're creating freedom, not just backing you into a corner with lots more hours that you service those lots more clients. So you can book a call with me. In the meantime, get the Health and Fitness Professionals Business Scorecard so you can self-assess what do you need right now. And so you can stop feeling like your dream is slipping away while other less qualified and less heart-centered coaches make sales and get more clients. Instead, you could easily increase your revenue by at least $5,000 a month in 90 days if you're just getting started. Further on down the line than that, increasing your revenue by at least 25% by the end of the year. Very doable. All right, let's take this little sprint. Fast fixes for social media mistakes. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple things right off the bat. This is like Reader's Digest, Cliff Notes. Number one, you want to maximize your stories for selling and for awareness. Optimize your posts and reels for growing your audience. And remember that carousel posts, like lots of images that they scroll through, that's for engaging your current audience, but it's not necessarily helping you grow a new audience. Those three things right off the bat, if you pay attention to those and think about what do I most need? What am I doing? You may come up with a different solution for what it is you're going to get as far as results. So number one, if you are posting too frequently, stop that right now, okay? This one backfires in the worst possible way. And at one point, there were people who said, if you're on Facebook, make sure you're posting like around the clock at least 4 times a day. And there are some people who are still doing that. But listen, it's probably not going to work if you got busy people who have money. They're not seeing it and it's just falling by the wayside and they're not going there to see you. This one backfires in the worst possible way though. If you're talking about Instagram, you're talking about posts, you're talking about video or reels for sure. It gives you the exact opposite of what you want. Look, there's a time to build and a time to use what you've built. For instance, before you go into a launch for a program or before you're going to be advertising and talking about, hey, I'm hosting a webinar in which the webinar you'll sell to a program. You want to be growing and focused on how to grow your following and congruently or consistently at the same time your email list before that. While you are launching, while you're enrolling to your webinar or enrolling and selling into your program before you close the cart, then you want to focus on nurturing and make sure you get it in front of the people. So you've grown it, right? So there's a time when, yes, grow it, nurture it, just move it along. Now, during it, you use that growth you have, and you probably won't grow a ton. Maybe you will if other people are sending you traffic, but you have to nurture, and make sure that they understand, here's your voice, here's how you talk while you're doing it. I'm hosting the What, When, and Why to Exercise for Women 40 and Plus. It's an online event with 40 different speakers. We want as many women as possible there to hear 40 interviews with experts and tips that will help women in midlife or the trainers and health coaches who work with them exercise in the best possible way prior to the event and basically otherwise all times of year. I would generally post maybe 1 or 2 reels per week because I leave 4 maybe days between, and primarily post stories daily where I might share that reel tomorrow or the next day. I might share it again and say, hey, by the way, this, or lots of comments on this one. Did you see it already? So you're bringing it back up again into their awareness. That's how you use stories. So you don't just create another timeline post, you use your stories to go back and get those posts. So let's say you've got some reels, you put your most popular reels and pinned them to the top. Make sure you change those out regularly because otherwise your timeline gets stale. And if you've got some that you want to bump up, make sure you share them. Share them to your story again. Say, hey, don't forget this one. Every time you do a quad exercise, you need to do your hamstrings. Here's the video where I talked about that. You post it again. There's things people need to be reminded of, right? So you can do that with stories, but you don't have to do it with a timeline video that then will hurt the views and prevent you from getting all the acquired views that come with the accumulation of time. Okay, fast fixes don't include a long, ugly link in social media. So I'm kind of doubling up on this, and we've mentioned this very recently. Same proximity, you're going to find another podcast that talks about this. But get rid of those ugly links. Use pretty links so they're shorter. And if you drop a URL into your post, remember, it's not a live link unless it's like link in your bio. So you have to make it very, very memorable. You cannot have the alphabet soup and the spam and the your name, first name, followed by a dot, followed by your last name, followed by .com, followed by blah, 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 blah. People are not going to remember that. And that means they're not going to say, oh, here's the URL. I'm going to go put that in my browser. No. And they can't copy and paste it. That's not going to work either. So you're hurting yourself by doing that because you're using up real estate. You're just confusing them. They're feeling like, I don't know, say something instead like DM me for the link. And then when they do DM you, just give them that pretty link. And that will work for them because that'll go live to a link. And now you've increased your engagement as well. All of that is so, so much better. So if I have a link to a product that I am an affiliate for, I will make it flipping50.com/C, the letter C60, for instance. That's a product I use for mitochondrial support and improved skin and hair growth. It improves your own hormone function. But, okay, I digress. Come back to it. That isn't the URL where the reader ends up. The URL where they end up is an ugly link with a lot of alphabet soup, something nobody's going to remember. They're not going to be able to copy and paste it from your post. And people remember why they're there. They want to see entertainment, things that are funny. They're not going to copy and paste. Not unless it's something that's like 30% off a pair of shoes I already wanted, right? Okay, is that just me? The past promotion period, I must have posted the link for our event 3 times daily in my stories. That's where you can use a live link, right? So that kind of thing, if you've got a post and it's talking about your event, you keep sharing that to stories and you put the link there. That's how you promote. Here's another error. Not posting stories often enough, right? Because we just said you got to go there. That's where you should be doing anything. It brings me to the last fix for social media mistakes. You've got to make sure that you're using stories to let people in, like let them into your life. What are you doing today, right now? If you're having a sale, you're having a webinar, you're sharing the link, write on a story, post an image, post a video of you inviting them, like you live talking to them, and keep it in a real life moment. Too polished accounts and posts, they're not the ones that are growing the fastest right now. Realize that overly manicured content could be hurting you while you're going live. just talking, not being hyped up, but being authentic. So maybe if you're hyped up authentically, that's the way to really connect. So doing the same thing, not getting results and not looking into doing it differently. That is the last mistake I'm going to leave you with. If you're just there, and I will be the first one to tell you, yes, consistency is really important. But if you're finding you've been consistent and you're not seeing this lift and lift and lift and lift, you keep growing and things are changing and it's improving, more shares, more comments, more saves in your things. If that's not happening for you, you've got to examine why. So if you keep doing the same thing, you're getting the same dismal views, not many saves or shares or few comments. I want you to change it up. Here's some things to consider. Look at your use of tags. Are you using only what's in the text in your post or verbally said or on images? On your video or in pictures? You're not pulling tags that are about your title, like you as menopause fitness coach. If that appears nowhere in the context of the copy, the text in the post or in the video that you created, it doesn't have any business as a tag for this particular post. Now, if you talk about, hey, I haven't introduced myself for a while. Let me introduce you. I'm a midlife women's coach. Now you can put those tags in there because you've done it. But if it's not relevant to what you've posted, don't do it. Look at long versus short copy on your posts. Is there a trend? I mean, which one seems to get more likes? Can you tell? Like, here's a longer post, here's a short one. And which of those matters or does it to your audience? Look at the use of emojis in your posts to break up the text. I like using them at the beginning of sentences. And, maybe it's a check mark, maybe it's a number, maybe it's something else, but just to break the text up, I like to also put space, like white space between and not run on sentences. That may help you. I don't know. Do ask a question that makes a response almost compulsive. I mean, in the copy of your post. And here's the place to do it. So realize somebody is reading from the top to the bottom. So ask your question at the end, right before you put your tags in. Don't ask it at the top thinking this will be top of mind if I do it now. They're not going to go and answer right away. They're going to read the rest of it if they're there reading the copy. So put it at the end and say, maybe put it in caps so that they can see it or point to it, draw attention to it with emojis. But put it at the end so it's the last thing they're reading as they got to the end of it. Okay, I hope that helps. What you're going to do is come to the show notes if you just want to recap on any of these. And that will be at this ugly URL. Listen up. fitnessmarketingmastery.com/fast fixes for social media mistakes. Really fast fixes. So you can't go back and change them, but you can go forward and make the ones you do today better. Challenge you to put at least 4 stories up today and watch how your insights change. What are you waiting for? The world needs you right now more than ever.